Hi, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mercy, and I am back again with a little bit of a conversation about something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Especially lately, I've been talking a lot about all these people who've been losing their jobs because of the funding issues. And I think this affects me mostly a lot because a lot of people who live in Geneva who are foreigners actually do work in international organizations. And right now, everybody's worried about their jobs, and it's a nightmare. It's actually quite sad because quite a lot of these people also have a lot of family members that they were taking care of, and so it's a knock-on effect on quite a lot of places. Unintended, unintended victims are coming up. So anyway. I want us to talk about something that I think we don't think about a lot enough, and that's the emotional side of money. The thing is, we always think about money as something we have or we don't have, but we don't really think about the emotional side of it. So, today we are not going to talk about budgets. Today we are not going to talk about investments, but today we're going to talk about feelings. The feelings, the guilt, the gratitude, the generosity that you get when you have money. And I don't mean when you're a millionaire. This is not for philanthropists because they will not be watching my channel. Anyway, this is just for somebody who comes from a place where you have either a sibling or somebody else that you're taking care of other than the, your underage children. Because even if you're taking care of your children who are slightly over 18, it already counts as this. Yeah. So I'm thinking about the Africans who live abroad, and looking at it as from the maybe the eyes of people who live abroad, work here, and have family either back home in Africa, in Asia, South America, wherever, and you have family that's depending on you. So recently, there was a lady who died, and this lady had been in Switzerland for over 30 years, and it was very sad because uh, she died, and unfortunately, it was not possible to repatriate her body back home. Um, so she was buried here, and her son was not even able to come for the funeral because we weren't able to even raise enough money in time for us to be able to do this for her. So um, it it's I'm not able to contribute enough for in time for him to be able to travel. Anyway, this kind of got a lot of conversations in different corners going about basically the support that we give back home. How sustainable is it? What happens if the breadwinner from this side ends up uh, either unemployed or dead, or it's life happens, right? So, what exactly happens to the people that you are supporting back home? Anyway, so there's this silent pressure that people who live in the diaspora, and I don't even think it's just the diaspora. I think even if you live in the cities and most of your family is in the rural areas, it's the same thing that they don't, you are expected to help. And it's not easy to say no because most of the concerns are legitimate. People need school fees, people get sick, people have emergencies. I mean, there are also things like weddings and baby showers, which personally I don't contribute to. But it's just sometimes it can be also a bit of pressure from people. And don't get me wrong, I am grateful to be in a position that if somebody tells me that they need school fees, I most of the time I'm actually able to, and sometimes I'm not able to, and I tell them that I'm not able to. And sometimes if somebody's sick and I'm able to contribute to their hospital bill, I'm able to, but sometimes I'm not. But I am actually grateful that I can help. And sometimes when you see, I know like a few people that I have seen who were dropping out of school, and all of a sudden, a few people, three, four, five people, have come together, gotten this person back to school, and it's been easy for this person. And then they see the success of this person. It's fulfilling, right? However, there is also pressure that comes with that, because the times that I have had to tell someone, I'm sorry, but I don't have. And sometimes it's not even that much. Sometimes it's they just found me at the wrong time, and there's literally really nothing that I have at that particular time. And those are the times when it's a bit hard and it's a bit awkward, because you don't even know how to say sorry, but I don't have. I'm thinking, well, for I'm trying to see how to say this without sounding horrible. But anyway, I'm just going to say it. There is something about when you receive an email and the email starts with, "Hi, I hope you're fine. I need a favor." Fine, I do also send such emails to some people because I only contact them when I need something, but that's just because I'm bad at communication, not because of anything else. But this, sometimes it's coming from, an example is, I recently received an email from somebody who we went to high school together. We are Facebook friends, but I can say, even as Facebook friends, I don't think this woman has ever as much as said more than 3 words to me. And even in high school, it's not like we were close. And this is high school, that's nearly 30 years ago. But this is somebody who reaches out to me and tells me that she needs medication. Now, how do I say no to that? I don't know, because how will I feel if the next day I see rest in peace? Am I going to be able to type that rest in peace with a clear conscience or not? You know, there's that guilt, and it's guilt because you remember where you came from. You remember that you know how life is for some people, and sometimes you feel like, if I would have helped, this would have changed and something else would have been done. But there's nothing that you can do to solve everybody's problems, and that's where now people need to start learning how to draw the line. But there's one thing that no one warns us about: generosity without boundaries will just empty you. Financially, emotionally, mentally, you always have to keep giving. And when you don't give, you start feeling guilty, and the guilt trip can really, really damage how you feel. I mean, there are people who, whenever they get their salary and they have stuff to do for themselves, they keep asking themselves, am I being selfish? Am I being auntie who everybody used to talk about? Am I being, why does saying no feel so hard? And this is just one of those things that, when you think about it, it is a huge mental load, and it affects your peace. There are people right now who are about to lose their jobs, but they're not worried about how they're going to lose their jobs. They're worried about what is going to happen to the people that depend on me when I lose my job. The problem is, over years, this ends up building resentment. It might not build resentment for you, but when you listen to how the second generation immigrants talk about their relationship to their home countries, it's quite different from her, because they grew up not having things so that their parents could send money back home. They could not go for vacation because mommy has to send money to build a house for auntie. They could not have good things that they thought they felt they needed, because money had to be sent back home. And they look at how much money is sent back home and how many of the times their parents are living on the bare minimum here, and then when they go back home, they see these same aunties who are driving cars and looking well, and everything is just looking so much nicer. And they do not relate that to helping. They look at it as people taking advantage of their parents. Now, this is not the case for everybody. Some people really do need that money. But the way it looks from the eyes of somebody else, because I think we forget as first generation immigrants, we forget that our children who are born here do not have the same, no matter how much we teach them about being like the rest of us, they do not have the same outlook on life. They're looking at us from the same way their European or their American friends look at everything. That's where their mentality is. So over time, you just have to learn to shift. You have to remind yourself that helping others is not necessarily a calling. And sometimes you just have to understand that you have to set boundaries. That doesn't mean you're unkind. It just means that this time I can't. And if I can't, I can't. Now, of course, there are people that you have to prioritize. For example, if you're the only child and your mother is sick, then that is your responsibility. However, if you're the only child, if you're in a family of many and they're always looking to one person, yes, you're not going to let your parents suffer because the rest of the family is not pulling their weight. But also you need to start thinking about having a conversation with them and telling them, okay, this is what's happening. Chances are high nobody's going to listen to you. I'm just saying all this with what you can do, but I know that quite a lot of families, this will be the kind of conversation that will make you won't be removed from the family WhatsApp group, but they will start one without you. And you know what else? It's okay to invest in your own life. It's okay to go on holidays. It's okay to buy yourself a new pair of shoes. It's okay to buy your child the latest iPhone. It's okay to just sit and block everybody. All this is okay, because if at the end of the day you break, those same people that you've been helping will really not be the ones to pick you up, because they won't also be in a position to pick you up. Now, there are very many people who come up with all these ideas and say, oh, you need, instead of sending money back home, you need to empower them and build them businesses and things like that. Now, that sounds well, sounds very, very good. But if somebody hasn't come to you with a business idea and told you, I want to buy potatoes from this village and sell them here at this amount of money, and this is how much capital I need. It doesn't matter how many times you start a business for that person, it's going to fail, because that's not where their mental space is. There are people who are okay with being helped. And to be honest with you, I used to wonder, but now I know, if I was in a place where somebody could be sending me money every single day and I just had to show up, I probably would also not work as hard as I need to, because what's the incentive? I just want you to give yourself permission to be generous to yourself. I want you to give yourself permission that when you get a promotion, you can do that one thing that you've always wanted to do. Now, in my family, we have this tradition, which is very unhealthy, and I really need to stop it. But well, we have this tradition that came from back when I really didn't have much, which was every time I get my salary, we eat out. So sometimes we don't eat out. Sometimes I just buy takeout and take away and we eat it at home. But every single time, the day I get my salary, I always don't cook. I don't care if it's a Monday, I don't care if it's a Friday, I'm not cooking. It's just what happens. And I keep this to myself. And I know there were times when my salary was so limited that was quite a waste. It was money that could have covered 2 weeks of maybe 2 weeks of groceries, but I tell myself, you know what, this is just what I've need. And then there's also the thing about that I have also consciously decided that I pay somebody to do my hair. I can do it myself, but I pay somebody to do it because I just decide those are the few things that I'm going to spoil myself. So when you see somebody on Facebook and she has done her nails, and then you read comments and you see something stupid like, "Oh, you're busy doing your nails and your grandmother doesn't have shoes." I'm always like, okay, one, that's a very weird place to have that conversation. And if you're having that conversation there, it means this person has already blocked you. I read once this meme on somewhere that said that if you know more than 3 stingy people, it means you're a beggar. And it's true. So when you have more than two relatives who think you're stingy, it just means you've learned how to put your foot down. Now, on this channel, I'm all about mental health. To give, you need to give with joy, you you so if you're feeling heaviness, guilt, tension between gratitude and obligation, and you're not sure where you sit, this is normal because this happens to a lot of people who have immigrated. Totally understand you. But I hope that you will give yourself permission to just be happy, to just be generous, to just enjoy your life. And if you give and you're happy to give, then that's good. But when you're giving and there is no joy in giving, then you need to stop. You need to reflect and to protect your peace. Because at the end of the day, when the day you do not have, trust me, those same people that you are busy this really, really putting yourself on the line for will be the first ones to start laughing at you. Okay, so that's it. This actually went longer than I expected. I expected it to be like 5 minutes, but well, here we are. And thanks for hanging out with me today as I rant about this. This really wasn't a rant. I think I was a bit more organized in my thinking today. If this resonated with you, just let me know. This is not a thing to say because I'm not the kind of person who's going to sit down and tell all people in the diaspora don't do this. And all, but as a mental health advocate, I'm just saying that if it is too much, then it's too much. So let me know. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know how you feel about the emotional side of money. Do you feel guilty for having money when you come from a family that doesn't? Do you feel like when you are the first one to succeed, you have to help everybody? Do you feel like everybody expects this from you and that's not what you're expecting? Do you feel like you're always giving and nobody is willing to share with you? Do you feel like your relatives are just horrible people who went abroad and forgot about you? So don't forget to like and subscribe. And then we can continue having these chats. Okay, bye bye and see you soon.